Okay, so it's been a minute, a good minute since I did a video journal. I figured it's time. Updates. It's cold, number one. It's January 11th and it's cold, so I'm sorry for the sneezing and sniffling and wiping my nose because it's cold. And I probably should have a sweatshirt on, but I was going to work out after this. So, since my last video, Limbo Land, this uncertain place I'm in, hasn't changed really. So last time I was still meeting with Rebecca, my nutritionist, dietitian. I'm not sure what her official legal title is, but according to my requirements, I had to meet with her for 6 months. And because the way my insurance was, I couldn't meet with the surgeon until September was my first appointment with Dr. Ringley. And because of insurance issues and stuff like that, I actually waited till like October 1st or whatever to make sure my insurance stuff went through. I know, she keeps pawing me. Hi. So what happened was I met with Dr. Ringley, and we all understood that because of how much weight I lost, the insurance company might not approve the surgery for me. But I followed all the guidelines. I did everything they asked me to. I just lost more weight than they probably wanted me to get approved for the surgery. Well, I met with Dr. Ringley, and after I met with him, they sent me all the paperwork for all the tests I need to do so we can finally submit this for approval. Nice big fat packet of papers. I had to meet with a psychologist, do a psychological exam, which I did. A little awkward. Made me feel more crazy. Like, I know I'm not completely sane. I mean, nobody's completely sane, but it made me feel crazy. Then I had to get an ECG. I think that's the right terminology, ECG done, which is where they do a scope down through your mouth, through your throat, and into your stomach to make sure everything's all kosher down there, make sure having surgery is safe for you. So I had that done, which was a weird experience, but got that taken care of. I had to do a physical therapy meeting. I met with a physical therapist, and they taught me kind of how to work out. I mean, I've taught classes, I've done all kinds of stuff, so I know what to do. I know how to work out. I just don't keep the motivation for it. So she taught me about the heart rate and stuff like that. Not that I didn't know that stuff already, but basically I had to go through a pre/post-op training on how to work out, what it's going to be like before surgery, and then what they want it to be like after, immediately, and then what it's going to be like further down the road, and how to maintain your weight loss. So that was cool. That was nice. My worst experience during these tests that I had to do was the blood work, and the last thing that I had to do was the blood work. I live in a very remote area. It takes me about 20 minutes to about 20 miles to drive to the closest grocery store. Like Walmart, closest Walmart, more than grocery store. But it's a running thing in the town. We all locals know this. You don't go to West Branch Hospital. If you need any serious medical help, don't go to West Branch Hospital. They are the worst hospital, and they're known for being one of the worst hospitals. Friends of mine have gone there severely sick, and they send them home with no medication, say there's nothing wrong with you. I've known of people who go there and they tell them they have the flu and they were actually having a heart attack. Like, it's malpractice central at this hospital. It's just a terrible fucking hospital. So I didn't want to go to the hospital to get my blood work done. I wanted to go to a lab. Growing up in Saginaw, we were always going to Quest Diagnostics for any lab work we had to do. Well, there isn't a Quest Diagnostics anywhere close to here. The closest one is Saginaw. And I was like, I don't want to drive an hour just to get blood work done. So I looked up a lab, and there was one in West Branch. I went there. I was like, I'm going to fast. I'm going to go do this and get this taken care of. I walked into the lab, showed my paperwork to the lady, and she's like looking through it. Now, granted, it's a thick stack of lab work orders. You know, I get it. She's flipping through it. She's like, this is too complicated for our office. We can't do this here. You're going to have to go to the hospital. Okay. The hospital was like 3 blocks away from here, so I drove. Went to the hospital. Walked in. Front desk. Like right front entrance, front lobby, everything. There's a woman at the front desk, and I tell her I need to go to get lab work done. Where do I go? I've been to hundreds of hospitals. Well, maybe not hundreds, but I've been to a lot of hospitals in my life. Never, when you walk into the main entrance, is that where you're supposed to like sign in and go. Like front entrance, I'm not talking ER entrance, I'm not talking anywhere else. Like I'm talking front main entrance, front desk, sign in like you're at a doctor's office. So somebody will call you, go have a seat in the lobby. Go sit down in the lobby, wait. A woman in a white coat walks out. She's not a doctor. I know she's not a doctor because there's no name tag says doctor something, nothing. But she's wearing a white coat. So obviously when you wear a white coat in a hospital, it's an authoritative stance. You should know this if you work in any kind of medical service. There is a stigma that goes with that white coat. You have some sort of authority. Well, she calls me back. She sits me down. We start talking, going over my paperwork. She starts looking and starts getting a little questioning. She's like, are you a bariatric patient? Yes, ma'am, I am. Not that it's any of her business. She's just there to do my paperwork and send me to get my blood work done. I said, yeah, I am. She looks, she's like, I said, I'm pre-op, you know, because I could tell she was like, And I was like, I'm pre-op. She's like, why? There's nothing to you. You're so skinny. Thanks for your professional opinion, but you're not my doctor, number 1. Number 2, that sounds like a personal opinion. And number 3, none of your goddamn business. It's my business, not yours. I don't know you. We're not friends. Don't fucking make statements about my life you know nothing about. So she continues on. She could see that I was very annoyed by the statement she made because I catch it from everywhere. Like, I went to my sister's wedding back at the end of October. All of my family were like, please don't have this surgery. You're so skinny as it is. You don't need to lose any more weight. All right. Just because everybody else in my family is obese doesn't mean I have to be. I love my family very, very much, but we are all extremely unhealthy, and I know my bad habits, and if my family's bad habits are anything like mine, we're all extremely unhealthy people. So she continues with her paperwork. A girl walks in and scrubs. Now, this is my phlebotomist. This is the girl who's going to take my blood. She kind of tells me that, sort of. And she looks at her. They start gib-gabbing with each other. I'm like, okay, slightly awkward. We're in an office. These two are chit-chatting, having personal conversation. I'm just sitting here watching them. And she turns to me and goes, isn't she so cute? Okay. She goes, she's pregnant. Oh, congratulations. Like, I couldn't tell that she was pregnant. She just looked like a heavy-set girl. Like, a huge chunk of the population up here is obese, which I have no problem with heavy people, obviously. But I was like, okay, congratulations. So they start chit-chatting again, gib-gabbing about her first pregnancy, because this is her second, apparently. So she's like, She's like, yeah, and you had to deliver early with your first daughter, or your first kid. She's like, yeah, well, because I went mud bogging at 8 months pregnant and I started leaking amniotic fluid. That's the logic that most people have in this area. I'm really sorry, but the people up here are severely uneducated, if that's okay, you know? She's like, yeah, I went mud bogging and I hit my stomach on the dash and started leaking amniotic fluid. How about when you're 8 months pregnant, you don't go mud bogging? Okay. Anyway, so obviously the woman in the white coat realizes that the woman's choices were slightly stupid. So she turns to me. Now, this woman's about to stick a needle in my arm and take several vials of blood. I think I counted like 10 or more vials of blood that she took from me. She's about to stick a needle in my arm. And she turns to me and goes, you don't have to be that smart to work here. They'll hire anybody. Great! Stick a needle in my arm. I'm feeling so confident about that. So, got my blood work done. She even said they couldn't even handle all the blood work that I gave them. They're probably going to have to send some of it out. I grew up not in a busy town, but like 4 times as busy as it is here. I love living in the middle of nowhere. I love living out in the nature and space from people and stuff like that. But the downside of it is that the population up here is completely uneducated. Very rural mindsets, very conservative in an uneducated way. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my friends up here. Like, they're good people, but they're just not always at the intellectual level that I figure a normal person should be at. Anyway, that being said, as rude as that is, after the blood work fiasco, I waited a week because I didn't know how long it was going to take for him to get the blood work to my doctor. I said, okay, hey, I got all my shit done. Can we do this now? Can we submit it? Can I find out if I can have my surgery or not? Okay. She said, we have to get you another appointment with the surgeon before we can submit it to the insurance company. Okay, when can I meet with the doctor? January 21st. Now, I called about this beginning of December. The soonest they could get me in was January 21st. So I have been sitting and waiting since December to even meet with the surgeon, let alone find out if I can have the surgery. Fell off the rails majorly in December, you know, holidays. I stepped back on the scale and it almost looked like I had gained like 9 more pounds. Gained 9 pounds back. Now, since the 1st, like I said, today is January 11th. So since the 1st, I've been busting my ass trying to get back, trying to focus, trying not to let my bad habits consume me anymore. I like this quote that I have, I found that really kind of centers for me. It says, I will beat her. I will train harder. I will eat cleaner. I know her weaknesses. I know her strengths. I've lost to her before, but not this time. She is going down and I have the advantage. Because I know her well, she is the old me. And I gotta remind myself that sometimes when it comes to the surgery, is that even if I don't get it, this isn't about having a surgery. This isn't about the number on the scale even. It's about feeling better for me and feeling more confident in my own body, which I haven't ever felt. Ever. My whole life. Never felt confident in the own skin that I'm in. I've had people compliment me. I've had people tell me all kinds of fun complimentary stuff. It doesn't mean I'm comfortable with me. And I knew this going into it. I knew that I wasn't like, and I said this even the very first time, I can change this. I can change the way it looks. I can change the way it moves. I can change the shape and the formation that it's in. I can change this. But this takes real work to change. And that's the hardest thing to change. And focusing on changing this comes from combining it on changing this. So I have to work this and my body together to get to a better me. I know this. So I actually started therapy last week. And this was something I wanted to do for a long time. I've struggled with anxiety and depression for years. Depression longer than the anxiety, but years and years of this battle with my brain. And the battle with my brain affects the battle with my body immensely. Anytime I fall off my eating habits, it's mostly because of something else that happened around me, whether it's I'm lonely and depressed, or I'm stressed, or feeling scattered and unorganized and all over the map, and I'm just like, fuck it, I need something to eat. Not gonna let that happen to myself anymore. And it's gonna happen. The binge eating happens more than I want it to. I mean, I've been doing so good for the last week and a half. Like, I dropped all that holiday weight off already. It's gone. I'm back down to 180, and I'm proud of that. I worked very hard over the last few weeks. I've pumped up my exercise routine, which was pretty much non-existent before. So anytime I'm doing something daily, like physically working out daily, it's an improvement from where I was before, because I wasn't doing anything pretty much, like maybe once a week. I kind of lied about that. So, being honest with you. So I bumped up my exercise routine. I've really focused on scheduling when I eat and slowing down when I eat again, because I totally stopped timing myself a while ago, because it would take me so long to eat, and then James was done and I'm sitting there still eating half my meal, and it took forever. So I've really focused on what I'm putting in my body, how much I'm putting in my body, and how fast I'm putting it in my body. And because I'm doing that, I'm recognizing I'm full faster. Now, like I said, the binge eating stuff still sticks in my brain. Like, I sit there going, I just want to inhale an entire bag of chips right now, or I would love a fucking cookie, or I'm craving carbs, whatever it is. But if it happens and I can't control it, I'm surrounding myself with better food options. So when I begin to do it, it's easier to stop, because I know I'm eating something that's good for me, but I know I shouldn't eat too much. Yesterday was kind of rough, because we had a morning. James was off yesterday, which, he's been working less and less lately because it's winter and it's slow up here. But in the morning, I was working out. And then while I was working out, he started telling me, well, you really shouldn't be doing so much arm and leg workout. You should be doing more core. Okay, like, you're a personal trainer. You know how to tell me what to do to work out. So I just got frustrated and I just stopped working out. We went outside and decided to ice skate, which is a nice exercise pastime, because we have the opportunity to do so. We have a pond that we have our own pond. We can go out and skate anytime we want. I got myself skates, so it's fun. I enjoy it. Go out and skate. And then I we came back inside, we had lunch, which I felt like I ate too much. I mostly because I don't like to not finish what I put in front of me. That's something that was trained in my brain from a childhood. Like, eat what's on your plate. Don't leave food on your plate. Well, I made myself some soup that I've really been enjoying. I made a big batch of it, so I'm doing, small portions every day for lunch when I'm home by myself. Well, yesterday I had my soup, and I think I put too much in my bowl because I didn't want to leave some in there. And by the time I was done with lunch, I was so full, so bloated. Because then it took me like a half hour to eat it, like more than a half hour to eat it. So I was like, okay, I'm full. I don't feel good. And I need to get moving, because if I sit with the sitting in my stomach, it's just going to feel worse. So I needed to run over to my girlfriend's house real quick to drop off something for her, and then hung out with her for like an hour-ish, just chit-chatting, because I didn't want to go back home right away. After I came home, James wanted to sit and play games, and I was like, okay, I haven't played my game today, it's cool. So we loaded up our games, and I sat there, which when I play my game, I could play it for hours and not even realize it. I'm like, oh shit, it's been 3 hours and I haven't moved. So that puts a hindrance on my movement. I also tend to get really munchy when I'm gaming, because I'm just like mindless hand to mouth action. So I was like, you know what sounds really good right now is carrots and hummus. And I had just got myself my favorite hummus from the store downstate, because they don't have good hummus up here. So I picked it up, and I was like, okay, carrots and hummus, great snack. Carrots have a little more sugar in them than I probably should be having, but it's a natural sugar, so I kind of justify it that way. Plus, I really can't be eating like that kind of stuff as much when I have the surgery, especially for a long time. You can't have like solid uncooked foods for a while, like carrots or celery or cucumbers or anything like that. So I just didn't realize, and all of a sudden half the bag is gone. Now, granted, it was a small bag, of baby carrots, but next thing I know, half the bag's gone. I'm like, fuck, I binge ate that. So anyway, I'm gonna stop chatting now. I'm talking to myself, but this is where I'm at. So I'm still in this limbo land. I haven't done these in a while because I've been feeling really discouraged about it, mostly because I'm trying to tell myself that no matter what comes back, whether I'm approved for the surgery or not, I need to be okay with it. So it's very hard, because I have been fighting, like I said, everybody telling me not to do it. And it's not going to affect them. It's affecting me. And just because I don't want to fit in what they consider normal, like, they don't want me to, I don't know. Like, some people think it's because, like they tell you, like, the reason other people, aren't supportive or whatever is because they secretly don't want you to succeed, or subconsciously don't want you to succeed, because it reflects poorly on them. And it's very true. It's like, if my family sees me tackling the obesity monster that has run rampant through our family, they, if I tackle it, maybe they have to tackle it. Maybe we all have to reevaluate how we treat food with each other. And it's not something most people can do. So, thank you very much for listening to me ramble. I'm going to try to get a little bit of workout in before I have some breakfast here, because I haven't eaten anything yet. So have a great day. Happy New Year. And no matter what, you can do it. So don't listen to the haters.